is Louise Reynolds and I'm a registered dietitian with the Irish Nutrition and Dietetic Institute. And I'm delighted to be here today to chat to you in association with Airfield Estate in Dundrum, where INDI have our headquarters. And we're talking today about nutrition for the elderly person or for the older person. And really, as we age, our nutritional needs do change. And I think it's important to keep that in mind, particularly this year, when so many of our older relatives and friends have been cocooning and maybe not getting out of the shops as often and have had to really think about the best way to get their nutritional needs at this time. So if you are a little bit older and you find that maybe your tastes have changed and your diet has changed a little bit, just there are a couple of things to keep in mind. It's important to try and maintain a healthy weight. So as much as possible to include some regular exercise, maybe up to 5 times a week for half an hour. This is really important to keep your bones and your muscles really strong as we age. So any opportunity to include some regular weight-bearing exercise, and again, to try and get out for a walk maybe would be a great idea as much as possible. In association with that, of course, women need to look after their heart health as well, particularly after the menopause, whereas before the menopause, they don't need to worry so much about that. They're protected by estrogen to a certain extent. Men, however, also need to look after heart health. Bone health is really important, as I've mentioned, and also to really make sure that you're getting a good range of nutrition and not just relying on 1 or 2 of the same foods all of the time. So if we think of the food groups, when we're that bit older, fruit and vegetables are really important. They can help to prevent constipation because they're really high in fibre, and it's important to have a good fluid intake with that. So hydration is really important. So if you are thirsty, make sure that you're including glasses of water throughout the day. If you're choosing high fibre foods such as wholemeal breads and high fibre cereals, these are really great foods to keep your insides really healthy, but it's important to include some fluid with that as well. So do ensure that you're drinking small amounts of fluid, water being really good during the day. Also, if you're having tea or coffee, of course, the water in that will also add to your overall intake of fluids during the day. So fruit and vegetables are really important, whichever ones you like, it doesn't really matter. Then, of course, protein is very important as we get older. So it's a good idea to have regular protein throughout the day. A small amount of protein at each meal is a really good idea. And this is important for muscles, to keep muscles strong, and also to help you feel full and satisfied with your meals. So good sources of protein to include would be things like eggs. An egg is fantastic at breakfast time, or maybe have an egg with some salad at lunchtime. So eggs are a great source of protein. Also, we can include there things like peas and beans and lentils, vegetarian sources of protein, but again, really high in fibre, high in soluble fibre, and a great idea to include if you like these kind of foods during the day. Then we have, of course, meat in this group and fish. Fish is a great idea, particularly oily fish, because it's great for your heart as well. So lots of different reasons to include these high protein foods in your diet. Then, of course, calcium is very important for bone health, and we know that our bones really peak in terms of bone strength at around the age of 30, but it's important throughout life that we do maintain good bone strength through walking and exercise, and also regular calcium intake. So milk, cheese and yogurt being the best sources of calcium in the diet, try and include these foods in your daily diet as much as possible. If you cook with milk or cheese or yogurt, it doesn't affect the calcium. So if you make a nice cheese sauce to have with your dinner, that's going to be included as part of your calcium intake during the day. And again, low-fat milk will have the same amount of calcium as regular whole milk. So really go for the one that you prefer. And again, depending on whether some people might need to try and gain a little bit of weight as they get older, if they've lost a lot of weight, or if you're trying to lose weight, you might choose a different variety. But it's a good idea to know, once you do know, that milk is a really good source of calcium and a good food to try and include in your diet as we get older. Then things like the cakes and sweets and biscuits and pastries, certainly keep those to a minimum. If you're in the habit of snacking on those foods a lot, really it's important to remind ourselves that they don't have much to offer in terms of nutrition, and they may affect your ability to keep your weight on track and keep within a healthy weight range, which is important as well. So if you'd like to find out a little bit more, we've lots of information on the INDI website, that's indi.ie. And why not get out for a nice walk around Airfield Estate? You can also get some nice vitamin D action on your skin, because I didn't mention vitamin D, but it's really important as well as we get older. So vitamin D is produced by sunlight on our skin, so getting out for a walk is really important, and you may need to take a vitamin supplement as you get older, particularly if you're cocooning and not out as much as we should be. So that's a good idea to have a chat with your pharmacist or GP.